Welcome to the Amazon, a mysterious and fascinating land that hides countless secrets. In this series of videos, we are going to explore the largest tropical forest in the world, meeting local communities and wild animals. You've probably heard a lot about this mysterious region, but do you really know what's going on there? Watch to find out. For my last adventure in the Amazon, I go to the village of Padre Cocha, near Iquitos, where I will work as a volunteer in a refuge for wild animals.
Today it's my first day to Pilmpituasi, the Rescue Animal Center. I just went there yesterday for a quick tour. There is so many wild animals there. Today I will mostly learn how to caring about the animals. So feed the animal, play with them, maybe explain to the tourists they come to visit the center, because you can also visit the center as a tourist.
On a remote road from the village and through a lush jungle, I set up the path to the refuge, discovering a magnificent and idyllic place. Pilmpituasi received many endangered species from the Amazon jungle, each of them having suffered the cruelty and greed of humans, thus finding themselves orphaned, injured and traumatized. The luckiest can hope one day to see themselves reintegrate into their natural environment. But for many of them, this is impossible. It therefore only remains to hope to offer them a peaceful end of life at the shelter. In this video, we will learn their story, and we will see how the refuge of Pilmpituasi tried to save those animals, which in this region of the world are in great danger.
So this morning was very interesting. I mostly discovered the refuge and the animals who live here. I had to clean a little bit the area, also prepare the food for the monkey. But actually working this morning was a bit difficult, but not because the work is hard, because I meet this little friend here. He's follow me everywhere. His name is Ken and he's very friendly, as you can see. Also, some of the monkey, like this little guy, they are totally free. And this cage surrounded me, mostly for protect myself and for protect the tourists they come to visit. Because usually this one, it's supposed to be outside of the cage, but I don't know how it found the way to come inside. But this one is super nice. But there is also like the alpha male. It's not very friendly, so it's important to have a bit of protections too. So most of the animals in the center are here because of human. Poacher, black market, destruction of their own habitats, so they all have a tragic story. This is the case of many of them. For example, the jaguar, Horitia. She's been abandoned because her mother has been killed by humans. And her brother didn't survive too, because it's hard for a wild animal to survive without mother. Most of the animals are here because the mother has been killed. I'm gonna meet Gudrun. She is the owner of the place and she will explain all these things way better than me.
So, here they are sitting. That's the big new female. Welcome to Pilmpituasi. I'm Gudrun Sperrer. I'm Austrian, but I've been living in the Peruvian jungle for the last 40 years, and I'm the founder of Pilmpituasi. Pilmpituasi is a Quechua word that actually means butterfly home. I started as a butterfly breeding center, that was the idea. But due to illegal trade, which is a very big business, not only in Peru but worldwide, we started to receive animals from the government, from ecological police. And after starting the butterfly farm in 1995, in 2002 we turned into a rescue center. Now, to be able to maintain the place, we're working with tourism. Well, we have almost 100 animals. We try to make an income, which is never enough because we don't get any support from the government. And we have, all in all here now, several felines, lots of different monkeys, birds, sloths, and anteaters and other animals. They all need a lot of care. The problem with illegal trade is that to get a tame animal, what people do is they kill the mother. So it's not a hunting of little monkeys. They kill the mother and take away the baby. Unfortunately, most of the babies die. We found out doing statistics with ecological police that to get one monkey to be sold at the market, they kill 10 monkey mothers. Even if you're an animal lover, please never buy wildlife. Even if you see it in bad conditions, even if you pity it, if you pay for it, you just make the market, you just make somebody else kill another mother. So the way is to inform the authorities. There are laws, I think almost all over the world, even in Peru. And people have to know that it's illegal. The problem is also when they shoot the mother and even the baby is surviving, mostly they have either shrapnels or they have fractures, because when they shoot the mother, they fall down. Angie, for example, you know Angie, one of the red wakaris, Angie Jr., they had shrapnels in their leg, in their knee. So the first thing also is when you get them, they're not only dehydrated and malnourished, they need operations, which means special care, which means a lot of expenses too with medication, with the veterinarian. But most of it you have to spoil them, so they want to survive afterwards. And that means they lose fear of people. And this is another big problem with wildlife and for rescue centers, because the idea of a rescue of a conservation center is to release the confiscated animals, put them back into the wild, into their habitat. But if they are not afraid of humans, they have no chance of surviving. They would go near a village and will end up in a pot or maybe in a small cage. So that's why, for example, in Pilpintuhuasi, we have a cage for the visitors. So we can leave more animals outside and they learn to be independent. But it's a big problem because we get them sick. Another problem for monkeys, for example, is the first reason of mortality in non-human primates in zoos worldwide is human cold or human flu. Monkeys are so similar to us that they catch the virus, but they don't have the defenses. And another problem, especially with cold, is monkeys cannot expectorate. So if they have a little bit of mucus, people can just spit it out. Monkeys cannot cough. So that's one of the reasons. Another one is that there are many diseases that we could pass on to them and that are lethal for them. I would like to invite people who see that, but I have to tell them, please don't expect us to allow you to feed the animals, to touch them, or even less, to take a selfie. We know that there are many places around Iquitos that call themselves rescue centers because there is a need for centers for the confiscated animals. The illegal trade of animals is right now actually the third biggest business in the world, after drugs and after weapons, I think. And even so, police confiscates the animal, because they do a little bit of job, they need space for them, and so they put them to places that say they're rescue centers, not really caring too much how the animals are treated. And the other big problem is also for releasing. There are lots of laws and things we must do, so we get the permission, medical tests for tuberculosis, for primate herpes, which are difficult to do in Peru. Sometimes you have to get the veterinarian or the reactives from the foreign country. So it's a matter of money too. The other problem is, for example, with monkeys, you cannot release a lonely monkey, a monkey alone. Monkeys live in groups, and so that they have a chance of surviving, you have to have an established group, and then you can try to release them. The other problem is also where to release them. You have to coordinate with the government. In theory, they should be released back to the habitat where they came from, but this is practically impossible to find out. Yeah, I enjoy working with animals because they are absolutely honest. You know what they feel. They show you what they feel. Working with animals can be absolutely frustrating, and it can be wonderful because, it's satisfying if you get an injured baby and you can cure it and you can make it grow and maybe you can even release it. That's a big satisfaction. On the other hand, it also can be very, very sad because many animals come here, as I said, as babies, and they have fractures and they have injuries, or they have been so malnourished that even so you do all you can do, you might not save them. And this is sad because one gets attached. I get attached to practically every animal I receive. Also, if I could say I have a favorite, it's probably my red wakaris. They're so special, these monkeys. And Oritia, which is a jaguar I got when she was still a baby. And even so, I did not want to get attached to her. Actually, I did everything not to, and she sees me as a mummy. So I still go and every now and then and play with her, even though she's now heavier than me. But the fascinating thing is she does not take out her claws, or she doesn't use her teeth more than for playing. She knows I don't do her any harm. That's another thing why I love animals, because they trust you if you don't treat them bad. Well, in Pilpintuhuasi, we work with volunteers, and we actually really need volunteers. In COVID, we have had very, very few. And well, if you want to come and help us, there's a lot of work to do. It's important to help us with the tours, especially if you speak English or another language. Spanish is good too, because we have national tourists. What I need is people with enthusiasm, people who really respect nature and like to make people understand that the jungle is not a paradise. It's an environment that has many dangers and that is endangered too. If you don't want to work with people, you also can just feed animals here, you can clean up, you can plant host plants for the butterflies, you can help collect eggs. There's a lot of work to do. We normally want a minimum of 4 weeks, because if you want to do some work with the animals, it takes a while until they get to know you and trust you, and you get to know them. So the longer you can stay, the better for us.
Here I am in the butterfly farm. There is many butterfly. They take care of the reproduction as well of the butterfly, take care of the caterpillar. And one of the job I have to do too every morning is to give food to the butterfly. So usually we put like a little bit of fermented banana, fermented orange. So here we are in the nursery. Every morning we collect the eggs from the butterfly farm and we bring it here in the bottles for protect them from predator like spider or ant. They really love to eat butterfly eggs. And after it's become a caterpillar. So here in this cage you have a lot of different species of caterpillar. They stay here usually a few months, it depends on the species. And after they transform in a chrysalid here. And usually it's just like a few days or few weeks, also depend on the species. And after it's transformed on a butterfly. And we bring the butterfly to the butterfly farm when they can fly, reproduce, eat and lay the eggs. So I show you a dead one because it's very hard to film them, they are very fast. This is a blue morpho. This is actually a very common butterfly here in South America. Usually they just live 2 weeks. They mostly transform in butterfly for the reproduction and after they die.
After the butterfly, the main characters in the centers are the family of red wakari, who live in total freedom on the site. They are particularly intelligent and endearing. The scarlet red face are due to the lack of skin pigment and the abundant capillaries that run under the facial tissue. It's also a sign of good health. Being able to approach them so closely in the wild is actually very rare, because the wakari live in the flooded forest of the Amazon, generally at the treetops. They are so coveted that they are forced to be locked up every night to avoid being captured by poachers who can illegally enter the center itself. Unfortunately, this has already happened in the past. The animals often arrive injured or sick, such as the case of little Alfredo, a baby capuchin monkey who arrived seriously sick. My role was mainly to take care of this little one, to feed him and bring him comfort. He was in a terrible state, and in truth, we had a very small hope for him. I then meet Sylvia, a baby anteater. She's begin her morning toilet. In much better health, she will still need some care today.
She's got a kind of skin problem. It's been for years. It's been sending samples, and nobody knows what it is. It's not a parasite. It's not a fungus. We don't really know. Ah,
So I'm with this cute little guy here. Come in, come in. You really like the camera, I know. The name of this guy is Shaska, and this is a woolly monkey. This one are nicer. They are capuchin monkey, all of them. They are the smartest one. And these, they are super cute. This is super small monkey.
In this part of the center, which is not accessible to tourists, the monkeys are grouped by species in order to form a stable group to be able to release them one day. Unfortunately, they cannot be free in the center. It's being too small to allow so many different and territorial species to coexist, and most will flee, to end up captured in the surrounded village. In this part there are capuchin monkey, squirrel monkey and spider monkey. The spider monkey having been confiscated in a circus near Lima, which exhibited them in their show. Having lost all fear of human, there is not so much hope for them to be released one day.
So here I'm with Togos. Togos, to say hello. He's a bit shy. Actually, Togos is an ocelot. He's really one of the most beautiful animals here, and one of my favorites. Maybe because they say probably that he's a bit dangerous, but with me he's very calm and nice. So when I have a bit of free time, I like to just sit next to him, look at what he do, take some pictures. Togos is an ocelot. He has been brought here by a family who was using him as a pet when he was a baby. But obviously Togos is an ocelot, is a wild animal, is not a cat, even if it looks like a cat. But it's not. And when he was growing up, his primal instinct has been taking over, and the family have to separate of him, obviously. They are wild animal, they are not pets. And in the other cage, just next to Togos, we have Harry. Harry is a female ocelot. She is very jealous when I'm staying too much time with Togos. But actually she is very nice, really more friendly than Togos. That's what they say, but I don't think so she'll like me. So today I'm with Alfredo, the little capuchin monkey. He's very sick. He's a little bit better today, so it's very nice. He have more energy, he eats more, so we are very full of hope for him. Est-ce que tu peux manger? À boire? Oui? Ah, c'est bien. Non? 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 Oui? Non? Today it's my day off. That is very nice because I could rest a lot. Actually working with the animal is kind of tiring. And here this is the place where I stay, where I sleep, in this cabin. Here there is a lake. It's very nice. And there is a hammock where I can rest, and it's nice. So it's a very peaceful place, very nice for rest. And I mean, if you want to come to doing a volunteering, I really recommend you this place because it's very nice. Well, it's been a week that I'm in Pilpituasi right now. This is 7 a.m. at the morning. I'm on my way to go there. The hardest thing in the morning is to try to find a coffee in this place because everyone is sleeping at 7 a.m. But I have to start to work at 8, so I really need my coffee. This is a challenge every morning. So have a good coffee, check, and that really make the difference on my day actually. Just for 6 soles, that's very cheap, it's something like €1, $1. And now it's time to go to feed the animals, so let's go.
It's here that we prepare the meal for the animal at the morning. Banana, papaya, cucumber, aguaje. Among the animals I had to feed, the first are the tamarin monkeys. Measuring between 30 and 40 centimeters, they are the smallest monkey in the center. There are about 15 different species in South America, and don't generally like each other between different races. Here, most of the tamarin live and move freely in the sanctuary. They are easily released when they form a stable group, but still remain in danger today. We then feed Goofy, a grey-winged trumpeter who loves papaya. It's called a trumpeter because of its powerful scream, which is why the native ones domesticated, for its role as a sentinel in case of danger. The pond in the middle of the refuge is also home to a caiman that I only had the opportunity to observe once, during its daily meal.
Billy. One of the first things I have to do at the morning is to feed the giant anteater. There are 3 of them, 1 baby and 2 adults, 1 female and 1 male here. His name is Billy. He's super nice, super cute, but also very shy. And just now, he loves food, so this is the only way I can get close of him when I give him food. The song that you hear is the toucan. It's very noisy.
The giant anteater is an insectivorous mammal. It lives on the ground unlike other species of anteaters, living in the trees. They have no teeth, but a 60 cm tongue, which allows them to catch small insects as hunt. Its only weapon of defense are its powerful claws, who can kill even the stronger predators, if it's managed to hang on. They are peaceful and enduring animals, but giant anteaters are now in great danger of extinction. Hunted by poachers for their meat and fur, but also vulnerable to the destructions and burning of their forest.
Today in every day, actually, it's papaya for the toucan, but actually something I didn't know too about this bird and about other birds too is that the toucan, they eat meat. So sometimes the toucan have chicken.
In fact, Tobias, of the name we gave him, arrived at the shelter suffering from lesion in the back, which it was found to be a deficiency of proteins. Today, the magnificent colors of Tobias testify of his healing.
Here I'm with Alberto. Alberto, he's a stork and he really loves fish. And the goal is to release Alberto. Actually, I don't know all his story. I think he arrived here because he has been shot by human. And so the goal is to release him, but he needs to recover it and to train himself to fly. So that's why he needs a bigger cage, because this cage is too small for him. But the problem here, and mostly also for the other animals, is because there is not so much money here for Pimpintuasi. Actually, if you want to help, you can also do it in the website of Pimpintuasi, but I will put the link in the description. And here this is Junior and Julita, just here. She's probably looking for insects to eat. So yeah, they eat insects like grasshopper or spider, but they also eat a lot of fruits. And actually they are capuchin monkey, so they are considered as the most intelligent monkey in South America. And they are actually very intelligent. We usually make monkey toys for them, for keep them busy. They need to do something all the time. Also, they don't like to be alone. That's why we usually put them by 2 or more. And every morning we have to give them some C vitamins. So we mix vitamin in the bottles with water and sugar, because the taste, it's better for them with sugar. And we give it to them. I'm actually in front of the cage of the king of Pinpintuasi. His name is Pedro Bello. He's a beautiful jaguar. There is two jaguars in the center, Pedro Bello here and Oritia. She's a female jaguar in the other side of the center. She just have 1 year old, so she's still preserved from human interaction. If you come to visit, you can see Pedro Bello is very old. He have 21, maybe 22 years old, and he's probably one of the oldest jaguar in the world. Usually a jaguar live until 15 years old. So that's very old.
Jaguars are unfortunately the most coveted felines in Amazon by poachers. Following the declines of the tiger population in Asia, they are now hunted for their teeth and bones, which are illegally exported across Asia for use in Chinese medicine. A very sad fad for those felines, whose population is in decline too, and also hurt because of deforestation. Pedro Bello, as Oritia, was saved as a baby. Due to poaching and the laws of the country, it's extremely expensive and difficult to release a jaguar, if of course its original habitat still exists. If there is no longer much hope for old Pedro, there are still some left for young Oritia. Isolated, the young jaguar is protected from human interaction. Gudre, the owner of the center, has given her the main missions of one day to be able to return her to the forest.
Oops.
But more the day pass, more the hope disappear, mainly because of the lack of financial means facing the shelter. As Gudre said, working with animals can be sad and frustrating, because not all of them can be released or saved. But sometimes, when all seems lost, a miracle can happen.
Como está? Como está? You look very better. Yes,
Thanks to the car provided by the centers, little Alfredo will live and will soon be able to join those congeners.
Hola! Hola!
During my travels, I often face the human impact on the nature. But in this sanctuary, I met the victims. Victims of a limitless human greed, leaving those defenseless creatures orphaned and stripped of their home. Amid this desolation, a ray of hope shines. Thanks to people who have dedicated their life to animal protection. They are true heroes who breathed new life into a hope that was scarce. This refuge also has the mission of raising awareness among visitors, of teaching them that the jungle is not a playground and that it doesn't belong to us, as well as the importance of their protection to preserve the natural balance.
It's now time for me to go. Tomorrow I have my flight for other part of Peru. This is a surprise and it will be more adventure. So this is also the end of this video and the end of the series of video about Amazonia experience. I really hope you like this part of the world as I like it too. I really recommend you to go here. If I have a recommendation, I would probably recommend you to go more to Colombian side. I really love especially Colombian side of Amazonia. It was very nice. But also if you want to work with wild animal or just visit the center, it's possible to do it here as a volunteer or just as a visitor. I will also put the link of the website of Pinpintuasi in the description if you want to check. Could be very, very nice. And so, guys, it will become more and more adventure. So please, if you really want to see it and also for support my work, it's a lot of work to share all these beautiful things with you. Please subscribe, let a beautiful comment or a bad one if you want. And I catch you guys in the next adventure.